What is up, everyone? Welcome to another stream, and this one should be hopefully a very action-packed one today for you guys. I know it's been, a little rocky the last few times I've tried to do this. Last one was super short. This time, not going to be the case. We're going to try to get back to, I don't know if we're quite for sure if I'm going to be able to do the full 2 hours this time, like I did last time out, but I'm going to try to just power through some of the game and just try to bring you guys as much of this as I can today. Got a lot planned this weekend, so I don't know when I'll have time again to do another stream. So I figured might as well go ahead and do it now while I have time. Um, my throat and sinuses are like a little cruddy today, so I apologize for how I sound. I don't know if I'm getting sick or if it's just you know the kind of day I'm having, but yeah. So let me go ahead and get A-Spec loaded up. Okay, just switch to that. Luckily, I had a little bit of a save state pulled. Oh, wait a second. This is not my save file. Okay, hold on. Let me just power this off. Okay, gotta reboot that. There we go. Didn't think about that. Like, loaded. I didn't know that this. I guess because I don't ever do save states. Like, I, the only save state I had dated back to, the 1.1.1 build I had. So, get loaded back in. I guess the next time I'll boot out of this. I was like, oh, I'll save some time instead of having to watch the whole boot animation and stuff. Alright, we're loaded in. Got the save loaded this time. So, let's get started. I'm trying to see what all we can do today. I'm going to get my cursor off screen. Goodness, that's not very entertaining to have there on the screen. Excuse me. I'm probably coughing and stuff throughout this. I apologize. I don't necessarily think I'm like sick, but I was like definitely not feeling ideal. So last time out we got the MRS show version, and then I think as well as this Lamborghini Cala, which I'm not entirely sure what motor this thing has. Displacement wise, it's a V10. I see that, but what's like? It's a 3. It's a 4-liter V10. 3.9, but 4-liter V10. It's already got a couple of upgrades on it. I said I was gonna keep this car, and I do still intend to. It's just a matter of finding what I'm gonna do next. I think we're gonna keep the Caterham. Actually, the Caterham's what I'm driving currently, so we're just gonna keep it like that for now. Let's see what we got. I'm trying to find some stuff that I can do still. We're running low on events, honestly. I think I started off on maybe too much power for that. Dang. Okay. Computer's back in the chat. I see you in there. What's up, man? Hope you're doing good. Let's see. Is this gonna be too much to ask out of the Caterham? Almost 600 horsepower. I mean, I personally also think the Caterham counts as a classic because, I mean, it's based on the Lotus 7, which is an old design. So we'll take advantage of that. I think that 590 horsepower race will be too much to ask for the Caterham. So we'll worry about that another time. There we go. Is that a Dome Zero? That was a Dome Zero. That's an Alpine A110 in front of me. Oh boy. Or I guess my left, really. Not really in front of me, but... So we get past the Dome up here. Dome? Dome? I've heard it pronounced both ways. I remember when I got the Dome, whichever, Zero, and GT5 back when I was a kid. I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. and then it was slow as dirt. So, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a full 2-hour stream today. I've got some stuff I want to take care of around the house. I'm home today from work. Really have been home all days but yesterday and Monday, but luckily it's one of those weird weeks where I get paid to sit at home, so, and not be at work, so that's been nice. But I posted about it briefly on the community posts. Did my first World Series race on Gran Turismo 7 and got pole and led every single lap. So that was a really big confidence boost and it made me feel good. And that's part of the reason why I'm probably not gonna stream for 2 hours today, is I want to train for the next round on Saturday. I'm currently number 11 in my state, in my division, obviously. I'm sure there are faster people in my state than that. But I'd love to crack into the top 10 and maybe even top 5 if I can get my points total up in GT7 to be one of the faster people in my division. So I'm going to start training on that this afternoon. I'm just trying to do something a little bit lighthearted that'll kind of be restful, because round 3, which was my debut round yesterday, was a 1 hour and 15-minute long race. Ironically enough, that spot, which if you guys saw the video posted today, was my first daily race win. Ironically enough, I won that daily race and haven't lost since. I've won every single sport mode race I've done since, which has been surprising. Man, am I about to get beat by this thing? I didn't trust it. I should have trusted it more. I think the Dome, whichever, is going to get me this time. I always have to retry the race, honestly. I know that's got it. It's just, I'm being conservative. Oh, I almost had him there. I think he's got too much straight line speed. Oh wait, am I gonna get this? No way, that was sick. The Caterham, my beloved, a car that can punch above its weight and then some. And people complaining about the GT40 being in this race. Now we're gonna complain about the Dome or the RX 500. I thought it was the RX 500 at first when I first saw it, and then it kind of zoomed in a little bit. I was like, oh, that's the Dome Zero. I assume that's something that was added, because I don't remember seeing that car before, but it was kind of cool to see, because that's kind of a nostalgic one. I loved it back when I had GT5 as a kid, because I skipped over GT4 as a child. Oh, I got a prize car. So the question, I don't think I can add any more power to the Caterham, because I would like to, but I also like the fact that it's pretty competent in these mid-power races, like 290, 300 horsepower races, because it's been a huge heavy hitter in those races. As you can see, all the middle trophies have been collected in most of these. I just can't do anything about this one, because 98 horsepower is definitely well beyond the Caterham, or well beneath the Caterham, I guess. Pure sports car, probably could go at it with this car. I feel like I've been pushing it with the Caterham. Let's go see what our prize car was first before I continue on. The Lotus Europa, okay. I think that's the OG Lotus. See, it's how I've been kind of able to figure out if these are cars that were added in A-Spec or not. Most of the cars that aren't added have descriptions. But I also feel like they did add some descriptions to some. Can't even do it in the VX Classic either. 2 horsepower higher than the limit. Dang. How much power is the Caterham right now? 263. Okay. We should. I feel like I could add a tiny bit more to it. I just went back to the home screen of that. I think that's gonna be. I don't know why I just wasted my time with that. I will say it's a really nice. That's what we're looking for. Quality of life update. Putting the tune shop on the home screen versus having to go to the individual manufacturer and stuff. So that adds so much time. Because I still put it right at 295, and I think that would be fine since I'd be able to actually use this race and use this thing in more races. I'm gonna do it. Just do a muffler upgrade and just leave it. I think that'll be best case because 295 horsepower less. I think this thing will be a killer. So let's see what's next. I think it's. Are we able to? You know what? Let's go for it. We're gonna try the Grindelwald race and see if this thing can bring the heat against some presumably much faster cars. Let's see. Excuse me, my throat is still cruddy. Like I said, I don't think I'm getting like sick, but definitely like not 100%. The zeros in this one, but I made more power now, and I was able to kill him at Rome. So. Okay, I guess we're just running away with this one. Well, I don't feel like this will be the car that I might wind up just beating the game with when the time comes to do like the World Championship and stuff. Just got to keep the revs high because this thing... Ah, crap. The one thing I really did not want to deal with this car. For some reason on Grindelwald, it gets stuck. If you apply all the weight reduction, it gets down under 1,000 pounds. That's crazy. Might have to look into that. This thing kind of gets like stuck if it spins out on that hill. And that's the second time I've done that at Grindelwald. This track just hates me. But in my defense, I also, didn't really play GT2 all the way through until I did the Plus gameplay a couple years ago. I mean, I was a little late to the party on the original launch time of GT2. All right, here we go. Take two. I think we got an easier grid this time. Is that a Skyline? OG Skyline? Except the dome is way ahead. This car will be beaten by another Caterham later on. Isn't it like... Isn't there a like a sports car style, like prototype style car that they built too? The revs high. I still find it crazy, like these things were never sold in the US, so I never expected to see one. And then I was leaving, I went and got my haircut, and I'm sitting at a red light. Keep in mind, I live in the sticks. I live in the most backwoods town in the south. And what do I see but a group of motorcycles and then a bright blue, like the color of this car, Caterham, right behind it. Ow, don't hit me. Probably didn't have to lift, but I would just figured I'd be safer rather than sorry. We gone. We're out of here. Dude, I am out of here. Goodness. That's crazy. This car is like putting the hurt on these things, and I'm theoretically making less power. I mean, that's a good point. It may not have been an actual Caterham, but it definitely looked exactly like one. Like, it had the fenders, it had the headlights and everything. So, I mean, in my head it was a Caterham, but, I mean, it could have been some kit car based on the Caterham, which is ironic because the Caterham's based on the Lotus 7. But it looked just like one. There are a few companies in the UK that did 7 replicas. I'm curious if any of them sold it to anywhere in the US. There is actually about an hour away from my house, about an hour and a half away from my house, a Atlanta Motorsports Park. It's a track some of you guys may know about it. It's kind of a little bit of a, I mean, it's popular, but it's not like world renowned like Road Atlanta is. But AMP has a dealership where you can buy Radicals and KTM crossbows. Of course, they're not road legal here. They've made it abundantly clear you cannot touch the streets in those things here in the U.S. But it's a place you can get them. And I always get mad they haven't sold Caterhams here. Because I think that would be sweet to have all three of them in one place. And as much as I love the KTM crossbow, I think I'd get a Caterham. Just because I like the Caterhams more. If I could get a Caterham with the crossbows version of the Volkswagen and Audi engine they use, I'd be pretty happy. I know Caterhams tend to use, like, I think the one in GT5 and 6 used a Honda Fireblade engine from the bike. We got a prize car. Let's see what we got. Eventually. PS1 load times. Alright, let's see what we got here. That was the highest end race, so I'd imagine this is going to be something pretty good. Lancia Stratos. Stratos? I've heard it pronounced two different ways. That's good. That's a good find. I'm going to keep it. I mean, I probably should make some room in the garage and like get some extra funds, but at the same time, it's like some of these cars are just too good to get rid of. Let's go do some weight reduction. GT4's disappointing representation of Caterham. I know they didn't have the best ones. Like I know, I think it took a couple years of them to come out with like super good ones. And even then, we still didn't get like the what was it? The 120R, I think that Top Gear hosted on there once. I know they did a whole thing with some new Caterhams. Let's see. Have I done any weight reduction? Do I have to buy it in order, or do I have to? Okay, I have to do it in order. 112, you can get the Stratos twice. Interesting. Is it just the road car, or do you mean getting the rally car as well? We're just gonna make this thing lightweight as humanly possible. I think it's worth spending the money on because this thing's already ridiculous. Is there? Please tell me there's a racing modification. Aw, man, I was kind of hoping there'd be a racing modification for this thing. It'd just be an F3 car at that point. What tires did I put on this car? Mediums? I mean, I'm going to go ahead and just go for the super softs. I mean, honestly, outside of endurance racing, like, we're just going to make this thing absolute grip. Just, it's never going to slip around again. I'm not going to add any more power. I think it's fine on that front. We're going to probably add brakes, though. Carbon metallic brake pads. That's crazy. Carbon ceramics weren't even a thing when this game came out. I know Porsche was kind of like a pioneer with that. Let's see, is there a turbo upgrade for this thing? That'd be kind of crazy. Nah, I kind of figured not. Not really. Doesn't really make sense. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else I should do here? Later on, the Stratos in that event will be replaced with something else. Oh, man. I'm kind of worried now about how that'll go. Oh, that's where the full customizable is. Oh, well, I don't need it. We'll just rock the semi-sport. I'm going to add a clutch as well, just to speed up the shifting. And then we'll leave it. I think the stock transmission is more than fine, especially with the power we're making now. I think stock was a little tall, but I think now where it's at in terms of the power rating, it's perfect. Right, let's go put this thing to some use. We make a lot of power. We are very lightweight. Let's see. I can't do the first race at historic, so we can't clear that one out yet. Can we clear out? I can imagine probably not. A luxury sedan. So I'm hesitant to do the high speed ring race with this because I don't know how that's going to go. I mean, I know power to weight is going to crush it. Let's see what we can do with this one. Be spending monies on the Caterham. Yes, sir. All right. Let's see what our presumably unkillable Caterham will be now. Be like. So we got the full weight reduction, so this thing should be under 1,000 pounds. On racing super soft tires. Should be the most ridiculous car in the game now. Yeah, first and second are pretty tall, but once it gets rolling, it's really fast. Goodness gracious, it handles so good. Oh gosh, yeah, I'm gonna have to recalibrate my brain to the handling now on the super softs with the weight reduction and the suspension upgrades. Like, let's see, I think this is at this point where we can take it flat out. Let's take this corner flat out. Heck yeah, my line could have been a little bit better. I didn't really quite get to the apex, but oh gosh. This thing is ridiculously grippy. Oh my goodness. I think I short shifted, and that's why it felt like second gear was so tall. Well, we are just taking off. Ah, braked way too late. Now imagine the LCC rocket joining the roster. That thing would be mental. Probably don't need a downshift there. I probably could have taken that flat out. Probably would have even had to lift off the gas. Much better line through there. Oh gosh. It gets skatey right there before the corkscrew. Alright. Coming down to the last couple corners. All day. Dang, that was like surprisingly easy. Oh man, my neck just cracked so bad. That hurt. I don't know if you guys heard it that time. It was the Elise, the Stratos, the S2000, the Type S NSX, and the Tom's Angel T01. Solid little race there. I did not expect it to be that easy. Considering I think we're in a huge horsepower deficit. And we got another prize car. I'm going to save. It's been a minute. Probably best to do that every once in a while. We had some crazy storms rolling through here last night. 126.9. It's a rocket. Like, this thing, scary. Like, if I could drive something this good handling in real life, I would be like a god tier driver, I feel like. I think this car could take on that Deep Forest race, but I want to see first what our prize car is. I get too curious. Like, I'm always like, oh, I'll just wait till after I do the events. It's the Angel TL1. Okay. I don't know much about this car. I just know it's kind of like a mid-engine sports car. Maybe it was like a spicier MR2. It uses the 5-valve 4AG. Okay. Good engine. 5-speed manual. It looks like it's like undeniably their own chassis. I thought it was like based on the MR2. It just uses the AE101 engine. It's a solid lineup. 4AG, wasn't that didn't they use a turbo version of that in the Supra, like the for Super GT or JGTC, I guess. All right, I think this car could do the Pure Sports Car Cup, the Deep Forest. Let's see what it can do. Yeah, I know the stream's a little bit delayed. I have it set to delay from my active like OBS window to kind of help with bandwidth issues. But sometimes YouTube will just do its own thing and slow you down. It's kind of annoying when it does it. All right, here we go. Deep Forest. We're gonna be punching above our weight again. Let's see if we can crush this race too. I wouldn't help if I ever hit the right button. I started it in second and we would have not moved. So let it hit limiter a little bit that time instead of short shipping it. Fully maxed out, I use this particular caterham to win Supercar Festival race at the Autumn Ring. That's crazy. Okay, so definitely should hold on to this thing. But those were super softs in every upgrade, but I managed it. Oh gosh. I guess that's what I get for reading and driving. I miss the original layout of Deep Forest in GT7. Like, I don't mind the hairpin. I know that's a very hot take to say I don't mind the hairpin. But I do prefer the very fast final corners of Deep Forest, because Deep Forest was like so perfectly balanced before, between being a fast track and the latter half and very slow in the mid half. Wait, the fact that I'd have to be going down into like first gear into this corner, and oh no, I feel like this is the same incident in the Plus Let's Play with the Audi. I think I clipped that grass in that same spot. I mean, it could be worse. I mean, it could be Grand Valley, what they did to Grand Valley for GT7. They butchered that track. I hate Grand Valley now in GT7. Like, anytime someone's like, let's race on Grand Valley Highway 1, I'm like, I ain't doing that. That's one of the few things, like in sport mode, I avoid, is if there's anything involving Grand Valley. Like, I just despise what they did to it. This thing really hates the grass. As most cars do. It's okay, though. Just gotta, not get in the grass. Alright, now I'm just going to watch the exit coming up, not here, but the next corner. A generational hater. Down the inside. We're scot-free from here. Woo, flat out. That was gnarly. It's not often I can take that corner flat out with anything. This thing's crazy. All right, new car acquired. That, I think, clears out that cup. I think. I'm trying to think what I raced the other race with, because there's like a 400 and something horsepower race after this one that I already did. Or 590. If I had this, probably the Quattro or the Nismo. One of the two. Let's see what we got. The ZZ3. Ow, my toe. Ow, I just stubbed my toe on my pedals. Wasn't this just a concept? I feel like, was it Raffle Waffle did a video on this thing recently? $36,000 for this thing if it was sold in the US back in the 90s. Keep in mind, that is cheaper, or the same price, as a brand new Golf GTI. I should know. I've researched the new Golf GTIs like crazy. I mean, I want one, like, pretty bad. For this, like, this would have been absurd. And I'll just read the offer of the CVT. That's disgusting. I hate CVT transmissions with a passion. Let's see what else we can tackle. Obviously can't do the FF Cup. It's like the one thing that GT2 did actually put limits on was, other than horsepower for some of these races, was drivetrain in those. What's the tuned NA Car Cup looking like? Oh, it's free. We'll just see what happens. I don't have high hopes, especially in a high-speed ring. But this thing's pulled some wins out of its hat, so we'll see. And I'm on super softs with all the weight reduction. This thing should be pretty poised for this. We'll just see if there's any, like, GT500s or something like that in here. Oh, it's a bunch of Hondas. And an MR2. Okay, I'm a lot less scared now. I'm not highly doubt that any of these are making, like, crazy, crazy high power. Enough to probably give this thing a hard time, but, like, not no, like, 800 horsepower Hondas in here. No Hondas or laptops in this one. Way out of here. See, I was curious how this was going to go. I was not expecting Civics. Spoon Civics, but Civics. Oh gosh. Got really unsettled. I guess that's karma for talking smack about the Civics. We're running Honda Civics with spoon engines. They just went in the Harry's. I'm trying to remember the rest of that line. You'd think as a Fast and Furious super fan, I would know those lines. I say super fan, only like the first 5 movies. After that, they kind of sucked. I don't like the new action style. Project Caterham. Please stop. Oh, there we go. Okay. The brakes were not as pain, and he's off. I'd like to call that a Lance Stroll maneuver. And I've also Lance Strolled it, apparently. No torque. Come on. Come on. Come on, please go. Please go. Please move. This is not good. Alright. I've now introduced a new challenge to myself. Last to first. I've bottled it horribly. So the only thing that sucks about GT2 is it just doesn't have support for analog, like, throttle and brake. Oh, what the heck. Okay, yeah, we're really going to work from behind this time. We got 1 lap to get back around every single car in the grid with 2 spins. That sucks. I have been Lance Strolled I'm starting to think it's more like Latifi or Logan Sargent, which hurts to say as a fellow countryman. I have faith. Get some air. Don't you do it. This thing loves to try to swing that rear end around. Come on. I was predicting a lot more understeer there. Yep, that's over. Screw the other cool cars. Caterham goes. You can do a lot with the Caterham and feel like you're not taking the wrong car to races. It's an FR, a classic, technically an NA, a pure sports car. I really like the Caterham 7. It's mod, one of the best cars in the game. It can be entered in almost all events. Family repeated. I used a DualShock this game back in the day, and now I use the sticks for the Xbox controller. I guess I mean more like throttle and brake. I mean, it defaulted to, cross and square. And the DualShock, the original DualShock, didn't have pressure-sensitive face buttons, I believe. No, PS2 did, but I don't know if it really accounted for that. So I don't know if I can really do like I do in other games where I can gradually increase throttle. But granted, some GT games just don't like that. Like GT4, it actually is better to just floor it after corners for some reason. Which just goes completely against like real life racing. Alright, take 2. Don't bottle it. Yeah, when I said like analog controls, I meant more like throttle and braking. I mean, I'm using an analog stick right now to steer. But even then, I just feel like if I tap it, it goes full lock. Like it doesn't really gradually introduce steering. I keep trying to predict the car's oversteer. See, now I'm like sketched out about entering this corner too fast. A little air to the sun throttle technique there. You said analog sticks for throttle and brakes too? I might try that if it comes down to it. I was never a fan of it as a kid, driving like that, because I think Midnight Club Los Angeles defaulted to that. But if it can help with like gradually increasing throttle to where I'm not just going full brake to full throttle. But I also, like I said, I don't know how this game would react to a linear throttle application like I do in like other games with my actual sim rig. That'd be really cool to do, honestly, is play this game on the rig, but I don't think force feedback wheels were even a thing like that PS1 games ever supported. Well, actually, no, I say that. I think I was reading yesterday, Fanatec put out a wheel back in the late 90s that was compatible with PlayStation. I just don't know if it was compatible with GT2 specifically. And conveniently, I own a Fanatec wheel now. So, I don't know. I'll look into that, though, because I think it'd be kind of fun to do one day. Just do like one of the endurance races in this game on the sim rig. Around the hairpin. I'm keeping the revs high. This thing loves to have high revs. There we go. Much better this time around. I mean, it's not over yet, but... Don't mind that. I don't know how, but it feels like how it is, but it almost feels like Rover developed the K series specifically for Caterhams. I know there's a convoluted way to get a rig working with your EMU of choice, but it's a pain to set up properly. It sounds so good coming out of a Caterham. Rover developed the K series for Caterham and the Elise. I know the Lotus Elise ran it briefly, right? Because I know they switched to Toyota. Yeah, see, I don't suck, and then I sweep the race. Yeah, I got the wheel working with GT4, my Thrustmaster wheel, actually very late in the finale, the Gran Turismo 4 German Lock finale video I did, 3 hours long video. Have you ever seen the video to fall asleep to? That's the one. But I did the entirety of the GTWCs at the end of Gran Turismo 4 with my Thrustmaster wheel, and it was super fun. I had a lot of fun with it. And then for the first couple videos of the Gran Turismo 3 Prize Car Challenge, I used the same wheel. I switched though because that was around the time I hurt my foot. I rolled my ankle and I tore some tendons. Like I think it was some tendons or something like that. Not tendons. I think that would have required surgery. Well, it may have been. I don't know. I tore some stuff in my foot. I don't remember exactly what, but I stopped using my wheel at the time for anything. And that was one of those times. It was early on in the Prize Car Only Challenge, which I'm gonna bring back as a stream. I think with the point I am at in 3, it doesn't make sense to keep doing videos with those. I'm gonna probably move those to a stream just to close those out relatively quickly. Got the Spoon Civic, the very high revving, happy Honda. 11,000 RPM. I mean, it sounded just like a bike out there in that last race. So, that's a lot of cash in that race. Yeah, 50,000. Alright, let's try the next one on that one. I mean, I'm sure at this point in the game, we're going to start getting some really good prizes. But I have a feeling it's going to get crazier as we go through these races. I feel like that was just a tease, having all the Civics and stuff. Right, A-Spec, but British cars only is never going to work, just saying. Like, you get the 19K, get the Caterham challenge done. Easiest challenge of all time. What is this red thing right here? Is that a Miata with a roof? It is. It's a hardtop Miata, I think. I know it's not the Mazda Speed, right? Because I don't think the proper turbo Mazda Speed Miata came out for a few years. I think it is a Mazda Speed tuned car, but just not the Mazda Speed Miata. Which I think over in Europe was the MPS Miata or something like that. Come here, little Civic. Your laptop's not going to save you this time. What will save you is me probably bottling this race. I really think it really does sound like a CBR 1000 is right behind me right now, just screaming in that Civic. All right, heading to lap 2 with a pretty commanding lead. Not my best turn there, but it will do. Like engine caterhams are goated too. Ooh, big hit. Glad I didn't lose a ton of power out of that. I'd love for us to add it, hit it. What kind of bike engine? I'm assuming a Honda engine, right? I mean, I don't know how long that partnership before the Fireblade model really was a thing. Okay, that was a little shoddy. Far enough ahead where I can't hear it anymore, so there's that. It would be kind of cool to see this track come back. This and Red Rock, just two of the tracks that were left behind in this game and never made an appearance again, would be kind of nice. Ooh. A little too much wall there. Ooh, big slide. I will say with the super softs on, it's a lot more controllable. Dubs. That was a smackdown too. That was a brutal win. 3.8 second gap to second. It was a Mazda Speed Miata. How did you improve the image quality? You're playing on emulator. I am playing on emulator. I'm actually not running any patches right now in terms of that. I did with a plus when I did my play video. When I played through GT2 Plus a few years ago, or a couple years ago now, I guess, I had the 60 frames and the better textures. I can't remember the exact name of the mod, but I am playing on emulator, just standard settings right now, I believe. I mean, I obviously have the graphics turned up just on modern resolution. But yeah. All right, we got one more race here at Laguna, and then there's a specific car I want, a very specific car that I want. I don't know if I'll have enough credits for it, and quite frankly, even then the Caterham will probably still beat it, because this thing's been untouchable, like untouchable this whole run. All right, my nemesis from my childhood, Laguna Seca. So if I don't bottle it again. Caterham 21 still a GOAT. It's really interesting though. I fully expected this series to be like a lot more powerful NA cars, like your Corvettes and stuff. But I don't think this is the only tuned NA car cup. So probably it's been so long since I've sat down and played GT2 and gone through all the menus properly and remembered all the events off the top of my head. I probably passed right over it the other day when I was going to the Supercar Festival to try that Rum Night race out. on the knife's edge there with that one. All right, flat out all day long. Wasn't paying attention. All right, she gets real shaky right here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and brake a little early. Probably way too early. This car probably can make it, crest the hill, and then hit the brakes. Unlike the Viper in the license test. I don't think that bump is quite so pronounced in the later games. I mean, obviously there's technical limitations with that kind of stuff. But I'm 90% sure that bump right before the corkscrew is not that pronounced in the later games. Into first just to keep the torque up. This thing is so fun though. It's probably one of my favorite cars I've driven in the PS1 engine, like, GT games. Now I just really need, like, the dev team to, like, work on a GT3 mod once they finish up A-Spec and get happy with where it's at, because that'd be sick. Because GT3 was my first game, so that would be, and I still have so much nostalgia for it. I know it's not the popular choice. I know this one's kind of, like, become the crown holder of the classic games, but man, it'd be cool to see GT3. I know GT3 concept exists, and that's pretty cool. I'm talking, like, cars that were never in the game. So I imagine this will be just as dominant there. But I also know the PS2 stuff's way harder to mess with than this is. This Civic is really hanging on. Brakes. Try to brake a little later. It's limited in terms of GT2, in terms of space and stuff. Yeah, I kind of figured. I got into Pokemon ROM hacking very briefly a couple years ago, like during COVID. That was like one of the weird things I did when I was stuck at home forever. And that's why they don't ever use emeralds for ROM hacks in Pokemon, is just because it's way harder, because there's not as much space on the ROM file like there is on Fire Red Leaf Green. But I can imagine that, yeah. Just being difficult. I braked way too late. Still made the corner. This wasn't the line I wanted to take. That Spoon Civic is really hanging up with us this time around. That very CBR 1000 sounding Civic behind me. I looked at a tiny bit. Probably shouldn't have done that. And I need every single thousandth out of this. Ooh, the collision. Dirty. Guess that was the game's way of saying I was taking that way too slow. On the throttle. That's their win. This thing's a beast. That Spoon Civic was really giving us a run for our money there. I was kind of impressed. Because it didn't really fight us like that in any of the other tracks. But I mean, also, Laguna's always been my nemesis on these older games. 124, I think, was the fastest time we got there. 50 grand more in the bank. I definitely don't think I've got enough money for the car that I want. But I do want to look. I'm going to go ahead and save. It's been a minute. I wonder if in the future A-Spec was popular to play and use as it is now. I feel like it will, especially with just all the stuff y'all are adding into the game. For those who are new to the chat, David's logo archive is actually Computer, who is the head developer of A-Spec. So if you guys want to give him a shout out for how good this mod is, that's where you want to go. Obviously join their Discord and all that stuff. They have a really cool Discord server where they go in depth on like behind the scenes stuff. Sometimes they'll post like little sneak peek of stuff. But this is definitely like an unheard of good mod for a game, and it's obvious y'all put a lot of time into this. So I think this is not going to be like, you know, like I feel like in terms of like modded games, like No Hesi, I think that's going to die. Like I feel like in a few years, No Hesi is going to be, no one's going to play it. This, I think, especially for a lot of the older GT fans, like it's gonna hold on. It's gonna hang on for years, especially when y'all keep coming out with new updates and stuff and adding new cars and new events like y'all have. Already got 14 people. That number is sure to grow. Um, so we got. I thought we got a prize car from that. Did we not? Oh, it's another Spoon Civic. We got 2 of them. Oh, well, now I don't feel bad about selling one. Not worth much. No point in having 2 of them, though. Just out of general curiosity, I want to see if I can afford this car. I think it's West City. I think that's where Italian cars are. I had the very awesome circumstances of getting to see one of these in person. And when I saw it was added to the game, I don't have enough for it. If I sold that Lamborghini, I could, but when will I ever get another Lamborghini Cavallo? Except unless I go back and do that race again. Because I would kill to have this. Like, this is one of my favorite cars of all time, like, barring anything. The NA Cup has a pool of prizes. Okay, so it's not just the Civic. We'll come back to that F40. Because I do want to get that at some point. I think that'd be, like, one of the best cars I could get. Even though Caterham will probably still beat it. Sorry for that weird cut in the audio. I just had to sneeze. And I have, like, stereotypical, like, American dad sneezes, where it's just super loud. So I was like, I definitely don't need y'all getting deafened by my sneeze. Okay, so we can do... I kind of want to send it with the Supercar Festival. But at the same time, I don't quite think the Caterham is quite ready. Gran Turismo 2 A-Spec, from which page did you download this game? So they have a website. Computer, feel free to drop it. I can't remember the name of it, like what the actual link is off the top of my head. Or better yet, I've got Discord pulled up. I can pull it. They have a website you can go check out. I'm going to put it in the chat, and you guys can go straight there. You'll need a software called X Delta Patcher, and obviously an NTSC copy of or just regular Gran Turismo 2. So this is, if I could get the whatchamacallit to work right. My keyboard is not playing nice with me. So this is, I'm posting the link now to their official website. So that's the link to their site. I'm going to pin it so you guys can go straight there and download A-Spec. Like I said, you'll need an X Delta Patcher as well as a copy of NTSC Gran Turismo 2 in order to download it and patch it. Super easy process. It's not too bad at all, and you'll be up and running. Let's see. What's something that this car could handle? Could this... I mean, it might be able to do the GT300. But I'm not sure I'm ready to tackle that just yet. I kind of want to wait. I know it could. I mean, I just saw the horsepower rating. We've taken cars that are way faster out with this thing. So, there's NA Tuning Cup 1. Where's NA Tuning Cup 2? The NA Cup and Turbo Cup races the last events of a pool of prize cars outside of the endurance events. Even the Super Touring Trophy has gotten race-specific prize cards. Interesting. Okay. So there's got to be more. I feel like you do unlock more special events after the game's complete. The vanilla game was. I might be wrong on that, because it always like blew me away when I played through Plus that there was #1 Cup, and then it just empties out here. I mean, I kind of want to send it with the Supercar Festival race at Deep Forest, just to see what it can do. But we're kind of... Yeah, the downforce, I think, would definitely be a hindrance for GT300. That might honestly be a better race for, like, something different. Maybe, like, well, the Nismo makes too much power. Yeah, I know the Toon Turbo Cup had some crazy prize cars. Let's go Grand Touring. We'll try that out first. We'll clear this out because I think this one's going to be pretty easy to clear out with this thing. That midfield race might be tricky, but we'll try at least the lower two events. So Red Rock. This is going to be tricky because I've never mastered. I love this track, but like I said, I didn't start with GT2 and I didn't play a lot of GT2 until a couple years ago. So Red Rock is kind of a track that I'm not very good at. Quite the grid too. I think we can do it though. I should have let the revs. I should have let it hit limiter a little bit before shifting. All right. Just immediately down the inside of the bank and just take the lead. This track's gonna be brutal in the Caterham. Oh, big slide. Holy grip. Not quite confident enough to try to really push it around this corner. That corner has usually been a killer for me. But if they brought this back at GT7 instead of Blue Moon Bay, like if they, I guess with Gran Turismo 8, if they do, they get rid of Blue Moon Bay and just use this instead, I think the strong majority of fans would be happy. Because Blue Moon Bay is like mid. I mean, that was the first league race I won, like in a private league on GT7, was that Blue Moon Bay, but like still. I had issues spinning out in the brake corners here with this car. Yeah, I did put the super softs on it. Maybe that's helping, or did you run the super softs as well? Oh, can't quite take it up flat out in 6th. A little bit of a slide, save it. Ride the curbs a little bit there. A little twitchy there. Not too bad, though. I was able to catch it. I'm going to shift down just to keep the revs high. This engine really only performs well in the high revs. What's the one track that's technically an oval and a road course at the same time? I know Daytona is like that, but you're probably referring to... it might be... if it's not Blue Moon Bay, I'm trying to think. So I know Blue Moon Bay is like that as well. Broadbean, maybe? Broadbean Raceway has like it's like mostly banked corners and it has like a random chicane in the middle of it. Oh, big slide. Golly, we were running away with this. I don't spend a lot. I did the course experience of Broadbean for credits. That's about all I ever used Broadbean for. I might be good for karting though, like doing karting races and stuff. Just gonna pin it in 5th gear. It definitely can't take it in 6th. Place Broadbean with Red Rock Valley. I think that'd be good. Oh, I should have braked a lot more going into that. A lot of understeer there. Probably was just going a little too fast though. I think get rid of Broadbean, put Red Rock Valley in the next game. I think that'd be a pretty solid track list. Or just best of both worlds, have them both. Like the 5 people that like it. Replace Blue Moon with Pocono, that'd be kind of sick. Shoot, I would say, oh, put Road Atlanta in the game, but they did that. Like, that was always like my one track I always wanted in GT. That's my home track. So, oh, goodness, big slide. I somewhat regret adding the Caterhams now. Hey, I ain't mad. It's made this game easy. This game gave me grief when I played through Plus, and now I'm just running away with everything. The thing is, the thing just ran a 117 around Red Rock, and I haven't even like really touched the the engine tuning all that much. The Superlight is kind of like a fair Escudo. So you get a prize car. I get a prize car. Heck yeah. Let's see what we get. I'd imagine it's not going to be anything too crazy. I feel like the GT track designers have lost the plot, so the more real tracks, the better. At this point, yes, I agree. Um, the tracks they've added the last couple of games, with the exception of a handful, and that being, I really like Maggiore. I think that's a good track that they added. I'm trying to think of any other good ones. Like Kyoto Driving Park's kind of fun. It's not my first choice. Ooh, GT300 car. Okay, we got our GT300 car now. And this one, I believe, is a A-Spec add-in, as I do not recognize that orange livery. That's cool. I like it. I like that orange livery a lot. So, definitely keeping this. I think we definitely need to keep this car. So, the thing is, I really want that F40, but I'm not willing to sell that Lamborghini, the Cala, whatever, for it. Because I kind of like that car too. I'm trying to keep all the add-in cars that they added in. It is an A-Spec fix. Alright, Grand Valley. The real Grand Valley. Maggiore was cool and Kyoto's neat, the rest are trash. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's their recent designs have not been very good. I don't think GT's had very good original designs since the GT5 and 6 era. The vanilla car was originally gold for whatever reason. Interesting. I think I remember that. I prefer the orange though. I just don't think gold really works on a car like the S15. The Sylvia was vanilla. Wasn't vanilla HT2 GT2, but it was bronze for some reason and had the wrong car number. I wonder if it was a licensing thing. Like for some reason the orange was licensed out or something, or they just really goofed it up. Okay, I see a couple red cars. What are these? Oh gosh, speaking of the F40. Let's see, can we find out if the F40 actually will lose to the Caterham? See, now this is a challenge. I just had to pick cars that were significantly faster. But even then, all you gotta do is just take a corner. Oh my goodness. The little bit of the grass there really threw me for a loop. Revs high. Sorry, Camaro. It's just AI. They don't have feelings. It's a lot of new A-Spec cars there. Like, the real Grand Valley. There's nothing like this. You got to get going. See you later, man. Thank you for stopping in. Hard on the brakes here into the chicane here. I don't even know if this counts as a chicane. It's more like two back-to-back hairpins almost. I guess it technically is a chicane. One thing I always love is how they did the crowd in the stands in this game, like just colored squares. I got a Grand Valley mod for Assetto and for Beam and G, and it's really cool. Grand Valley on Beam is like kind of busted, but I've done a couple like showcases of cars on the Grand Valley on the Assetto before. I do still want to get this game functioning on real hardware at some point. I sent it to computer a long time ago, but I got 1.1.1 bootable on a disc, but just wasn't able to get it to behave my PlayStation. I think I talked about this probably in the first episode of this live Let's Play, about how like the disc was just too tall for my PS2, and it was just like hitting something and wouldn't read. But I do have technical proof that I was able to get A-Spec running on an actual disc. I just couldn't get it to properly read on the PS2 itself. But my PS2 might have a bad laser too, so that might also be a problem. Typical PS2 stuff. Now that they're old. A little bit of a tail kick there. We're still hanging on ahead of these guys, though. I believe that is the F40 behind that C4 Corvette. It just looks like a red blob to me from this point. It's going to kind of stamp at the throttle a lot. We're a little wide, but it's okay. We're still in a good position here. All right, one more lap to go here. We are running away with this one. I didn't have a whole lot of faith that I was going to be able to pull away quite so much. Hanging in there with that huge ag gap. Yes, sir. As we're putting buses on these guys. Goodness. I'm kind of surprised with this one because I figured the F40 would be on its own a lot more of a threat. But my little mini F3 car at this point, with all the work done to it, is putting in work. Now this has me wanting to like revisit this car in GT5 when I get back to doing GT5 videos again, or just streams of GT5, whichever, once this game is done, and modifying the Caterham there and just seeing if it can compare to how good this is. Rip 6th place. And remember, I recommended you this, yeah. And I'm glad I listened because this has made this game a lot more of a cakewalk. I'm not saying I have to retry 1,005 races because he literally like very subtly nudged me in the chat. He was like, "Hey, you should go check this out. You should do it. Screw buying the Ferrari, buy the Caterham." And I was like, "Okay." And rest is history. This thing is just ridiculous. I mean, it really does drive like I'd imagine a F3 kind of level car would drive in this game. Guess I won't know for sure until I get the F1 cars later in the game. Which, like I said, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm so excited to try those out. That was like when I know me and you talked about it like a long time ago, like during the development phase of like I think it was 1.1.1 was still in development at the time, and we talked about F1 stuff. You sent me like a couple of preview renders of like 1 or 2 of the F1 cars in the game, and I was hyped. The Caterhams are just really good to drive. They really are. Dang, the Jaguar beat the F40. What is that V12? Is that DB7 going to finish? He's way behind. If it'll even give it enough time. I just want to see 18 seconds. That's brutal. Starting in 3rd, too. Dang, it must have really sucked. I'm kind of like saving my credits because I'm like, I mean, the Caterham doesn't really need any work at this point. It's just putting in work. That Aston Martin got waxed. That sucks for it, not me, but. Oh man, I'm still sketched if it'll do midfield though. Imagine if I made them even better to drive. Would you do that for me? Just make it where they don't spin, which I mean goes against the laws of physics at that point. But really imagine like that being even more overkill. Oh, what? No way. The 2D? Oh, well, now we're really playing with power. Anyone get the Nintendo reference? I was not born when Nintendo Power was created. I think by a good bit, actually. I think Nintendo Power was NES era, and I was born well after the NES was taken out of production. Actually, now that I think about it, the SNES was out of production at the time I was born. That's kind of cool, though, to see the chaparral here. I've always loved the 2D. I mean, obviously the 2J is crazy with the fan car setup, but like the 2D is always really cool. I did not expect to get that here. We're getting some crazy cars now. £900. Gosh dang. It's a super lightweight car now. It lives up to the super light name. Oh boy. The question is here, do I ruin how good this car is in these lower level events and just turn it up so I can easily kill that 590 horsepower event? I want to see like what I'm looking at for some of these. I mean, obviously this thing's not going to do well in these low, like 140, 100, 240 horsepower races. At this point, it's already breached the majority of these low-end races. And I don't think it needs a ton more. Like, I think I'll still be able to do, like, the IC level races in these cups. Because that's what I'm thinking of, is just the national events. Like, how this car is going to handle those events. Because we're obviously at a point here where we're well beyond what it can do. I think it might be time to bump this thing up a notch. Unless we just go straight to the station wagon cup. I can do this. Even then, it still needs... I don't know. I think we're kind of at that point now where it needs to be upgraded. Almost all these are 345 to 394, and I think honestly just getting the power to that will be getting it up to about 345. I think is going to be this thing's happy place, because I think at that point it'll make those 591 races a little bit more accessible. So what have I done already? I know I've tuned it up a little bit. Okay, maybe I've done a lot more than I thought I did. Have I already tuned this up all the way? No, I haven't. Okay, this will be a lot of cash, but it'll be 325. It looks like that'll be our maximum horsepower we'll get out of this thing. So I don't think there's a displacement upgrade. There's not. Imagine this thing bored out at 2 liters. I imagine the 1.8 and the 1.8R name is a 1.8 liter engine. I think we're really down to just drivetrain upgrades at this point. We've done all the weight reduction. We've put it on the stickiest tires. Could go to the fully customizable suspension. Did I do the racing muffler or did I do the semi-racing muffler? Okay, I did. I think we've pretty much topped this car out. I think the only thing left to do would be drivetrain upgrades and bumping up to the fully customizable suspension. And adding traction control. How much would that cost? Oh. Yeah, it's not worth it. Gotta be a man. Traction control didn't exist all that much back then. Let's go ahead and handle that last race in the... which one was I doing? Was it the Luxury Sedan Cup I was working on? Or was it Grand Touring? I think it was Grand Touring. Now, King of Weasels talked about this before he left. This race is going to be tricky. So we may have to employ some strategies that would be very frowned upon. So if you see me cut the last chicane, don't berate me. Just let it happen. Just let it happen. But I'm gonna try not to. TCS and a Caterham, get out of here. See, we gotta be a man. No assistance. We don't need help. I say that once we bend this thing in the wall first thing at trial or midfield. I don't think it goes from the Trial Mountain. Okay, so there's no chicanes to cut here, so. Dang, I did that thing again where I didn't let it get the speed up. Off to a rough start. We got this though. Come on, 320 horsepower, 983 pounds. Like, this is one of the lightest, if not the lightest car in this whole game. Oh, goodness. Tailing kicked out there. This was where I took one of the first daily race wins I ever did, and like back in the GT6 days. Or I guess it was technically still a seasonal event at the time. It wasn't really a daily race. That race was tough. And I did that on my Driving Force GT that I had back then. My OG sim. I didn't have a mount for it, so I clamped it onto a bar stool. And so one half of that wheel was perpetually off of, it wasn't mounted to anything. So if I pulled the wheel too hard, it would twist. It was a really interesting way to get around that, but that's how I did it back then. That's how I played sim games, like with the sim back then. I used to be mounted in my parents' dresser, and then I tore some chunks out of it because of that wheel, and did not hear the end of it. Younger me definitely didn't expect that to happen. Are we just eating this race? Not really. And we're still holding it down, but oh, come on! Don't you do this? Okay, there's a lot of rotation. Not any. No bottling here. No Lance strolling here. Never mind. We Lance strolled the wall there. Just keep the throttle on and downshift and hope for the best. Always loved this last little chicane on midfield because it reminded me a lot of like a reverse Eau Rouge and Radillon. I think it's Radillon. I have to brush up on my Dutch and German. So I think the Belgians use both. This is what a Caterham's about. Oh no, I bottled it. Not the time for this. I hear turbos. Yeah, we can close back in on the Camaro. I'm not too worried about that. Just gotta lock in. Down the inside, a little bit of contact. Modulate the throttle as much as I can on a controller. Not the best line I could have taken through this corner, but made it work. They all went off anyway, so it worked out for me. A little slow through there, but we just took it, so that's all that matters. Okay, so now I know this car can handle these higher horsepower races. It's a little bit more of a challenge, but it can do it. 115.5, that's kind of screaming for midfield. Like, I've seen faster laps at midfield, but usually that's like prototype machinery. All right, 30K in the bank on top of that. Make a little bit of the money back we spent. Go ahead and save. See, I said I wasn't going to do the full 2 hours, but now I'm like kind of thinking I want to. Because I have all evening tonight and all day tomorrow to train for the World Series race on Saturday. And probably most of the day Saturday, honestly. I was going to go to a car event on Saturday with my actual car, but I don't think that'll wind up working out. I think it's supposed to rain, so that probably won't happen. But we've now cleared that, so that's another cup we can take off the list. What's in the Turbo Cup? I know we can't win this. Spending all that money in the Caterham was definitely worth it. I agree. It's definitely become overkill. What did I do the All-Stars race with? Was it the Caterham? I don't think it was the Caterham. I could do that. I feel like I could do it, but at the same time I also don't want to find out I'm wrong. Probably call this the Project A-Spec Caterham playthrough at this point. Alright, let's clear this one out pretty quick. I do think I should give this car a rest at some point. And, I mean, a certain Ferrari that I was eyeing will be pretty useful in the MR Cup. So I'm leaning towards getting into that and giving the Caterham a break. Because, I mean, We've been going for an hour and a half now, and this is the only car I've driven this whole time. I'm sure everyone wants to see something else, but also just love cruising through these events with no challenge. Like, oh, it's the short track. It's the short track. I wasn't paying attention to the track map. I thought we were on full length. I was fully getting ready to take that left-hander instead of the right-hand turn right there. Official. This is a wagon. I mean, the roof doesn't. The roof kind of goes all the way back, right? Kind of counts. It's a shooting brake. We'll just call it a shooting brake for this. Close enough. We are fully qualified for the race. Heck yeah. I don't know if it is in this game, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I would love to have a legacy flat 6 car. That might be in this. I can't remember when they started doing that with the legacy stuff and flat 6s in them. But as a Porsche fanboy, that would be kind of cool. Since I know the Easy 30 was co-developed with Porsche. And of course, all the more cringe Subaru fanboys kind of run with that. That group of just the cringe Subaru owners, not the cool ones. I was almost a Subaru guy. I was honestly, when I bought my GTI I have now, that was one of the cars I was going to buy, was a Subaru. It was going to be a STI or a VB direct, a sub 1 minute lap. Wow, I didn't notice that. Dang, I think we're going to run another one here too. Gosh, 8 seconds. Well, I mean, obviously the first lap was a standing start, but. And I hit the wall in that first lap pretty hard. Stage doesn't here, man. That would have been my choice too. I think the Legacy Wagon GT, I don't know for sure if back then they had the flat 6. I know they at least had the EJ. I kind of want to hear what this car sounds like in real life. I saw you mention earlier it sounds really good. Prize car. So we got for this one. I know it's probably annoying that like I back out and check the prize car every time I get one, but I also get curious what they are, and I'm like, if I do 3 races back to back and don't check, it's gonna bother me that I don't know what it is. So let's bump back to the garage. STI wagon? Okay, that's like one of my other favorite like Japanese wagons. Did I just get a car I didn't notice? The Skyline? Ooh, I like this livery. And assuming by the fact there's a description, this is one of you guys' cars. It's kind of sick. That's kind of sick. I like this. 494 horsepower. This thing will be very useful towards the later half of this game. Is that R33 as well? Or am I just seeing things? That's an R33. A vanilla car. Okay. You got me on that one. I was about to say, I thought this was one of y'all's work. I know that I added some of the GT500 stuff. Alright. Next up. Because see, like, if I brought any of these other cars into the wagon race, it would just crush it. Probably just as bad, if not worse. I don't know. What's y'all's thoughts on selling the Lamborghini Kala for an F40? Because, I mean, I don't plan on using it, and I wanted to keep it because it's neat. But I also really want the F40. And presumably the F40 would be faster. And it's not like I'm getting rid of an A-Spec car for a vanilla car. I think it's a 3-speed that can help you with some events. Sounds like the Chaparral might be a good move for the Turbo Cup, right? Is it even turbocharged? It's not. I figured not. Sell the ZZ3. Oh, it's only worth 12 grand. If you say so. Let's see. Alright, let's go and wrap up the Wagon Cup. I am saving though, because I really want that that F40 for the mid-engine challenge. I think that's just be, you know, fantastic for me. Oh, we got a race in the Luxury Sedan Cup I haven't done yet. We'll into that one later. We'll kind of want to polish up the Wagon Cup first. Super Speedway, where my journey with Gran Turismo began. Of course, it looked a lot different in GT3 than it does in GT2. I actually like how it looks more in GT2 than it does in GT3. This is a funky looking station wagon. There we go. Just let it bang limiter a couple times and it'll just rock it. Okay, man. Oh, we'll get the heck out of here. IndyCar. Now it's an IndyCar. We've graduated from F3. Now it's an IndyCar. Ain't no NASCAR stock car. Still winning though. See, this looks cool to me. Why did they not bring this back for GT3? I know it exists because part of the GT3 concept mod that was done has this original layout. Do it for Dale, yes sir. Should have brought a black car out here. Oh, this would have been a good time to get the NASCAR Taurus. I know there's no black like Dale Earnhardt Senior livery for that, but like, come on, that'd be so funny to have out here. You know what? Maybe when we do the Super Speedway 150, if that's in this game, I'm pretty sure it is. I'll look. We'll get the NASCAR stock car just for the memes. This looks so much better than Gran Turismo 3's. Why did they not run this layout, like this variant of it? Because this looks way better to me. Too easy. All right, one more race in this. We'll go polish out that last race in that other cup. $36-second lap. That's cooking. I remember I used the Camaro race car doing the Super Speedway 150. But see, now I'm curious the Super Speedway endurance races in this game. I'm pretty sure it is. I know that's always been a mainstay. No, actually. Unless I missed it. Dang, okay. I guess that started in GT3. Okay. Luxury Sedan Cup. High-speed ring. This one's going to be a challenge. 590 horsepower on a very, you know, as the name suggests, high-speed track. We're going to have to really rely on the power to weight on this car. Because, 320 horsepower, obviously is a pretty big deficit. But also these cars weigh like 3,000 plus pounds, whereas this weighs 900 pounds. Is that a Aristo? Or as I knew it, the GS300? Why is there a Dodge Stratus in this race? Everyone knows this thing's as slow as dirt here. Why is there a Taurus out here? Half these cars would never make this much power in real life, reliably at least. The Taurus would blow up. My mom had a non-SH of that generation when I was a kid. She loved it, actually. With the V6 instead of the tiny V8. Okay, well, I guess computer's right. I am very much underestimating this car because I have now taken the lead. I thought that Ballin sign, it reminds me a lot of like the Benetton from back in the day. Alright, last lap. I guess I once again horribly underestimated this car because I'm running away with this. Power to weight always wins. All right, one more corner to go here. I will say this track in GT7 with rain at night is one of the most interesting experiences. It was a lot of fun, actually. I built like a race against the AI custom race with a multi-class grid because I just own enough Group 1s to do that, and it was like ridiculously fun. The thing about Caterhams is that pretty much everything is perfect for them except the drag. Oh, it was an Intrepid, not a Stratus. Same thing. Both mid. There was a guy at a car meet I went to when I was like 17 who tried to flex as Dodge Stratus, and I was like, buddy, like, that's not a car you can flex at a car meet. Like, you got the baddest thing in town. Like, there are way better cars here. Not saying I had a better car at the time, but I mean, come on. You're in here with an NSX in the same parking lot. Sometimes I miss those days. Those were good events back when I was younger. Oh boy. Let's see. What's the... Might as well go for the convertible event, honestly. Yeah, this actually is a convertible, so... The one event it's actually meant for. And then I'll probably be about ready to wrap this one up. Starting to get worn out and just ready to get up and move around a little bit. Oh, hey, it's the Ford Indigo. Oh my goodness. Terrible start. Terrible start. I'm not even going to bother trying to catch up after that. That's GG's. Gosh, why does it take so long to load? PS1 era. And it's a black screen forever, and it kicks right back to the event menu. I wish it would just take you back to like the screen before you start the race. That'd be handy. I know that would probably be really hard to code, honestly. All right, take 2. Just don't bottle it at the very beginning. This does not have the downforce to take these first couple corners flat out. Hey, so we still get to run the Indigo. I was actually kind of curious how that would do against this thing. Against the legend. Oh my, that curve really set this thing up. Oh, I was about to say, what the heck is that in front of me? And then it loaded in. It was a Cobra. I was like, okay, that makes sense to see out here. The question is, will it be just like it was in GT3, where it just spins out every 5 seconds? Looks like my question was answered. Put itself on the wall. The AI crashes a lot in this game for how fast they actually are. As I hit the wall here. A little bit of understeer, but not too bad. Still not as bad as that S4 was in Plus. That was still one of the worst driving cars I've ever experienced. I think I actually moved that save file because when I was running the developmental version of A-Spec, it like was trying to overwrite the save file from Plus. So I don't have to cut the chicane. I try to only cut the chicane if I have to. Oh, airplane. Little sketch. Worked out. All right, just don't bottle the rest of this lap when we got this. So the Indigo's making moves back there. This thing really is a beast, dude. I'm just bewildered. Oh, almost bottled it there. It impresses every time. It's really impressed me. Like, I underestimated it at first. I was like, no way. Oh, 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 oh no, oh no! What kind of luck is that? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. The Cobra, I got karma back for roasting the Cobra. That's what that was. I don't think I've ever gotten that much air from that corner. Ever. That was insane. Okay. Alright, karma got me. I shouldn't have said anything about the Cobra. I don't think I've ever seen that much air off of the hill right there. Other than the time I flipped the R34 in GT5. Alright, I know I said I was going to end it after that last run, but I want to win. So, we're going to run this back. Oh, come on. There's a really poor line. That bottled it right there. That sucked though. I was right there. If I'd had a little bit more low end torque, I probably would have been able to save it, or at least get second. But the Caterham definitely does not like being below 6,000 RPM all that much. So it happens. If I hadn't taken that bad line, it wouldn't have been an issue. All right, let's not turn this thing into an airplane. Oh, bunny hop. I'll take the bunny hop. Not flying all about though. Is this the same car from Test Drive 6? I used to own one. I used to choose this one. Ah, crap. Why'd I spin back around? What the heck is this? Come on. At least those cars are there to bump me to get me back into the torque band. Or was that I just reset? And I'm gonna have to fight this thing to the finish. Try to close the door on me a little bit there. Oh, I botched that pretty bad. That was not the best line. Okay, now I just gotta not take flight. It's the 1.8R. I've never played Test Drive 6, so I don't know if this was in that game or not. It may have been the, whatever the later R version was. No airplane. No airplane. Oh. Okay. Much better. Still stressful, but much better. 40 to go was definitely not to be trifled with. All right. We're in a 134.7 both laps. If I hadn't spun, probably wouldn't have been an issue. All right, we got a new prize car. I'm going to go ahead and save. Because we are at that point in time where it's time to wrap things up for now. I just need to get up and move a little bit. I went way over what I anticipated doing the stream for, but I've just been having so much fun with this. And chatting with you guys and stuff. So we'll look at what our prize car is for today, and then I'm going to kind of just look at what all we still have left to do. Because the Caterham is just kind of swept through this game. With the only time it's not swept through an event is when I have an incident. So let's see, we still got one race left at Tahiti that I probably could have done before I dumped a ton of power into this thing. Have the low-level historic, the 2 later lightweight K-Cup races, the last race at Station Wagon, and then all these leftover races like the main championships in Toon Turbo. 7 and 7 with the Caterham 7. Heck yeah, it's an omen. All right, let's check out what our final prize car for the day is going to be. Whoa, okay, this is actually kind of cool. Did I get 2 prize cars? Okay, this is cool. This has to be something y'all did. There's no way y'all didn't add this. The Dodge Copperhead with an LM edition. With the V6, though. Was the Copperhead V6? Yeah, it had to be, because I think it was meant to be like a mini Viper. But when did I get the GTR? Unless I just glossed over it. This is actually my favorite GTR model, though. This All-Tech sedan. I don't know why. I just love this thing. The Copperhead LM is the best car of the game for me. I don't remember getting the Mugen. I assume the Mugen came from the station wagon thing. That's kind of cool, though. All in all, pretty solid lineup we got today. Check our game status. Where we sitting at 18% completion. Average win ratio of 76%. That's way lower than I expected, especially how much the Caterham just sweeps through everything. So, anyway, I think it's about time for me to wrap this up. I am in a lot of pain in my knees, and I need to get up and move and go take some medication for it, just to try to calm it down. And then I got to start training for the next Gran Turismo World Series round. So I'm going to go and, do some of that. I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. This has been a really fun stream, and I think I'm going to start trying to do these earlier in the day for me. It seems like a lot of you guys, coming in here, like it's just, obviously a lot more viewership than when I do these later in the evening like I've been doing. So I'm going to try to start doing these earlier in the day. And I usually, the only reason I ever waited so late in the day to do these streams is just because that'd be after dinner time and all that stuff, and I would be just on my own devices for the rest of the evening. So that's usually why I would do them so late in the day. But it seems like you guys seem to prefer these earlier in the day for me. So might be what I do from now on. I know a lot of you guys in Europe who watch this. It's way easier for you guys to tune in when I do these, mid-afternoon here in the U.S. on the East Coast. So anyway, I want to thank you all one more time, especially for the support on these. These have been the most fun streams I've done ever. So I gotta thank you guys for that, and I will see you guys hopefully very soon. I don't know time frame. I'm not gonna promise anything, but I might try to pop in here one more time with another A-Spec stream during the weekend at some point. But thank you guys. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day, night, morning, wherever you are in the world.